It is happening right now. There is a pivot taking place in the marketplace right now, a massive switch in how business is getting done. And you, as an entrepreneur, can adapt or die. Point blank. That's what has to take place. The technology we're talking about is OpenAI ChatGPT. If you haven't adapted to OpenAI just yet, you're going to want to stay tuned to this video as we break down the reasons why every entrepreneur needs to be using this technology. So here's the deal. I'm gonna tell you a little story, right? If you've been with me on this channel, you know every once in a while I share a story, and here's the story. There once was this amazing company, and they were the best at what they did. Internationally known, very well respected. If you worked for this company at this time, you were well respected. The company is Kodak. Now, Kodak was phenomenal in film photography. I mean, I remember as a child, the branding, the logo, taking pictures, going to get them developed. And as the transition happened from print photography, from film photography to digital photography, some companies resisted. Some companies didn't adapt. And those companies that didn't adapt to that new technology, guess what happened? They died. Companies like Sony, Canon, they exploded because they were able to pivot. Those companies that didn't pivot, Fujifilm, Kodak, they didn't quite get as far. You see, that's on a massive scale. But for us as entrepreneurs and sales professionals, well, what does that mean? That means this. The most exciting time in history to make sales is right now, because you have the most amount of tools ever thought possible at this current moment in time. So if you haven't adapted to OpenAI or any other version of AI in your business, I'm concerned for you. You may be going down the wrong path. And for those that don't understand what AI, I'm talking about artificial intelligence. So here's the deal. Currently right now, OpenAI ChatGPT is a free software. I don't know how much longer it'll be for free. And my only regret about this program is I didn't jump on it sooner. It literally took me like 2 or 3 days before I caught up with it. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Since I've learned about this technology and studied it and used it, I've never not used it. There's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't use this technology or some form of the technology, because there are competitors and I do some work and I have some relationship with some of their competitors. More videos on that to come later. So how do we implement this? Well, let's talk about it. First, do it, right? Literally go learn. There's a link down below to OpenAI. Click it. I have zero affiliation with them. Like, I get no incentive, no skin in the game for me if you use them or if you don't use them. But if you're finding value so far from what we're talking about, here's my incentive. Smash that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned, because we are going to release a series of videos on AI in your sales process. So let's talk about how do we use this software? How do we use this technology, right? In this video, I'm gonna just share conceptually how to use it. In the next video next week, which is why you wanna smash that like button, subscribe, I'll give you real life examples and we'll pull up my computer screen and I'll share some stuff with you. But here's the deal. There's 5 ways to use the technology. There's 5 ways not to use the technology. And if you use the technology accordingly, it makes your job easy. The first thing you can do with AI software, you can generate personalized emails or text messages or DMs using technology. Now, here's the cool thing about this. If you don't like the first response you get, you can regenerate a second response. But I will say this, don't just copy and paste without looking at context, right? This is OpenAI. Is it 100% perfect right now? No, but it's pretty damn close. But if OpenAI is giving you the same opening line it's giving 20,000 other people or 2 million other people, it's not unique. So you have to, I use it for me as a guideline on how I want to open up conversations. Generating those personalized emails and outreach, fairly simple. Plug it in OpenAI. A second way we use this, The other day, I went to OpenAI. I put the details of the upcoming Catapulting Commission Sales Academy, which if you're a service-based entrepreneur that conducts Zoom calls to close business, I'd like to invite you, check it out. There's a link down below to learn more about the Sales Academy. But here's the deal. We're creating the page and the copy for the Sales Academy. I put all the details in and I put OpenAI, I said, hey, what are potential frequently asked questions on this subject? It spit out 12 questions. Now, were all 12 relevant? No, but it did get the thoughts in my head spinning so I can put down what questions were relevant. And then here's the kicker. I went back and said, how would you answer this question? And I took that and I'm like, oh, this is a great template. This is a great outline. This is a great format. Now, let me be clear. I don't copy and paste. There are people who copy and paste AI. I'm not one of them. I definitely believe I want to have some ownership in my thought, but I'm also not against using, hey, here's an outline. Here's a little bit of help. The third way to use OpenAI. You can generate product or service descriptions through OpenAI. You see, the world of copywriting and writing down descriptions, it's a skill. Don't get me wrong. It's a very, very tough skill to do it from thin air. Technology is here and it's making that skill a little easier and a little more accessible. So, in the example we discussed about Sony cameras, if I had a new Sony camera and here were the bells and whistles, I would go right. My Sony camera has this. Can you write a product description for me? And OpenAI will spit out a product description. If you have a service, if you're a pest control provider and you are having all these chemicals you spray, you write a service description out. OpenAI does it. Using this technology to streamline what we put on website and marketing materials and brochures and emails, super simple. That's the third way I'm using it, right? I'm literally saying, what is the description for the services? The fourth way we're using OpenAI. Check this one out. We have all heard the phrase of ideal client avatar or ideal client profile, right? This is the person that we create as our avatar and who we're going to sell to, who we're going to market to, who we're going to speak to on social media, right? Now, as you evolve, as you grow, sometimes your avatar changes a little bit. Or maybe you want to beta test a new product, a new service, enter a new market. You're going to want to create a new avatar description. OpenAI can do that for you. You can go to OpenAI and say, write a description of a middle-aged married professional that went to college and lives in suburban neighborhood in the southwestern part of the United States. Create this character and tell me their likes, their dislikes, knowing they care about fitness, they're typically healthy, and they're savvy in finances. List it out. And AI will list out the ideal client avatar. Now, is that going to be my perfect avatar? No, but it's definitely going to get the thought jogging on what my ideal client avatar looks like. You see, if you've ever created that ideal client avatar from scratch, you know it's a lot of work. It's a lot of thinking. Again, AI is simply here not to replace you. Don't get it wrong, but here to help you. Now here's the kicker. The fifth way you can use OpenAI. Bet you didn't know this one. I mean, this is a game changer. OpenAI can analyze data or patterns in your email list, in your subscriber list, in your prospect list. You can input your customer data into OpenAI and say, can you identify patterns or trends? The more information you feed it, the better the output. Listen, I gotta be honest with you. To what extent this works, that's to be determined. We've beta tested this with small lists. Hey, here's 50 leads we received. Can you identify some trends for me? Here's the data points that we have. And I'll share that with you in a future video. But I encourage you, go play with it. Literally, you can spend hours playing on OpenAI, learning how to use this software. But if a software can help identify patterns, then you're absolutely correct. You should use it. So those right there are 5 ways you can use OpenAI. Now I have to say this. With the advancement of technology, it's not a question if, but more a question when will we be so dependent on technology to accelerate business? Here's my answer. Look at the generation below you, the younger generation. I don't know your age. Let's just look at the high school, junior high generation. My daughters are in junior high. They answer nearly everything with technology. When they are my age and older and conducting business, their savviness with technology is going to be far superior than what we have in the marketplace right now. So you have an opportunity. You're on the early trend. It's like when the internet came out. You have that opportunity to adapt, and it's never been easier than it is now. So do me this favor. Try out OpenAI. Tell me your thoughts. Now I have to say this. Here's the disclaimer. Ding, ding, ding. Disclaimer. OpenAI doesn't replace human interaction. OpenAI isn't perfect. OpenAI isn't a copy and paste template. We have to use OpenAI responsibly. We have to use OpenAI more as a guide. And you want to use OpenAI so it continues to help you sound like yourself. I don't want to sound like OpenAI. I want to sound like Anthony Garcia. And you should want to sound just like yourself. Now, here's the deal. If you subscribe to this content, you'll see the video next week. If you haven't, smash that button right now, because next week, we're going to talk about the 5 things you don't want to do on OpenAI. And then we're also going to share, here are actual applications of OpenAI, how we're using it in the field. And I will show you some of the DMs we put out, some of the emailing we put out, some of the website copy we've created for either myself or my clients utilizing OpenAI. So that's what I got for you. If you're using OpenAI, do me a favor, leave it in the comments. Let me know your experiences for it. I'd love to hear from you. I'm Anthony Garcia. This is Catapulting Commission Sales Talk, and I'll see you next week.